All right. So we're gonna try
I'm gonna watch
Uno
it
Mas.
here.
This is, of course, Midcard Mana. We got over here Sam Keola, the wrestling connoisseur. We got over here the loose cannon. We got watching like a guardian angel. Allison, the future world champ. And today is a very special day because it's Sam Keola's 50th birthday.
According to Mom, I'm 40.
I'm
41.
I'm a math teacher. I say you're 50.
I'm not 50, despite this white hair. I'm 41.
Okay.
I would be happy to say I'm 50 if I was 50.
Can get these hands.
Get these hands.
All right, so
A Suburban got these hands yesterday.
So we're gonna do a little bit more of a Monotl video where we're talking about a whole bunch of different things in wrestling. Hopefully, we're gonna focus for the purposes of this video within the WWE. Recently, what's been going on all their different shows: 205, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and of course, Mixed Match Challenge. So,
and we'll probably touch on some other things just to get it out there.
Yeah,
because we haven't touched on a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, we've been slacking. We've been busy.
Yeah,
it's been a busy time.
So we want to start with this most current week.
Let's just talk about specifically main roster stuff. Things going on. Things coming up. So
sucks. Bad.
They're doing some interesting stuff. I felt with the trying to maybe have a different twist on the Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
They're finally doing what I think they should have started to begin with. Thank you.
I'll open it for you.
Okay. No. Go. No. I'll do it. Birthday stuff. They're finally doing what I thought they should have done to begin with, which was make it a triple threat, which they should have done at the Rumble instead of waited this long. Which I was like, why do a handicap?
Well, I'm wondering if this is
have
going to
them
lead
lose,
up
it just makes them look weak.
Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at Mania.
It will.
So it's all about buying time for the inevitable because if they did it at Rumble, then the next thing that would happen would be Fastlane for SmackDown, and it wouldn't be the bigger moment that I think.
Well, it could have been. I mean, they could have had whoever win at Rumble, and then AJ get his rematch. Say Sammy won at Rumble, he's the world champion.
Oh my God.
And then AJ, I know you would freak out.
I would.
Maybe Andrew would quit watching WWE at the top. That's her moment.
It's like this is it. This is it for me.
And then you have Sammy versus AJ at Fastlane. Say Kevin Owens is a special guest referee to make it even that much. But then something happens with Sammy and Kevin. They get into it. AJ actually wins the belt back. AJ goes to Mania like they want to anyway. And then you have the Sammy Kevin match. Oh my God, it still works out. It just the handicap didn't make any sense to me with them losing.
Yeah.
So I just thought they should have been in the triple threat before.
A slinky and a slinky.
Oh, it's a double slinky.
This past week, and even the match leading to Rumble, Orton RKO'd Shinsuke out of nowhere, and it was like, okay, you've kind of seen it coming since they've been tagging a lot, but then there's no context for it.
And then it was not revisited at all after.
And then, so this past week, the Rude Rusev match, which is a whole other debacle that they've gotten themselves into.
It was on Rusev Day.
It was on Rusev Day, which is every day. But it was on Rusev Day. And
it's not today. Today's your birthday.
Today's Sam's Day, yeah. Which is, they had, Rusev Day is over huge as faces, really. I mean, they're faces.
Seriously.
There was never a real turn. The fans just got behind them. They started portraying them as faces. And then at the last minute this week, they turned them, had them come out, and they had Aiden English do a heel promo introduction for Rusev.
Well, I mean, because they're playing Rude as a face right now, which is
Rude
weird.
is the anti-Roman, and it's so stupid.
But I mean, I don't think he's losing any traction by being this face, and not as much.
Not
anyway.
Because the fans are really behind him, like in the opening segment, and which was really poorly played out because how stupid can you be with what they're doing and going, well, Daniel, I don't think you're listening to the WWE Universe. And then they break out in a chant of Rusev Day to the point of Shane McMahon can no longer speak until he goes, acknowledged. But are you really acknowledging it? If the crowd's behind him so much, he's essentially face. You've let him,
and yet you do nothing
you
with
let him
him.
be face, even though you're not portraying him as face technically. And then you book him as a heel against Rude for no apparent reason.
Which is also ridiculous that Rude is a face. Because
Yeah.
Rude,
But I mean, Rude is
did
over.
some of. But I mean, he's
solely for his song.
he did such a good
He's a
work
great heel.
as a heel, especially in NXT in this latest incarnation of Bobby Roode, that it's such a waste.
I thought maybe that they were going to like kind of turn Rude heel since Rusev was going to face him, because like Rusev has such a face push behind him from the audience, and they tried to make Rude the heel in the match, and it just did not work. I mean,
It didn't take.
the crowd was just so behind Rusev. And then at the end, of course, Bobby Roode wins. You have Orton come in and RKO Rude, and he RKO's Aiden English, and he RKO's Rusev.
Because he's going to go after that U.S. championship.
And it's like, such a, you don't turn Orton at all. There's no context for him attacking anybody. There's no context for him.
He just wants a title, and he can't
He wants to be heel. Orton's gone on record saying that he wants to be heel again. But there's no context for him turning heel. He's just out there RKOing people. And
the apex predator.
Apex something. It was so poorly done, that whole thing. Even though it was a good match, it was just the context of the match had no bearing on it. It would have been so much better if there was a reason for the match. You had Rusev face. You had Orton turning heel and doing these things instead of the way it was. SmackDown, usually the better show, but this week, really poor writing.
And I mean, it's not like Raw was a whole lot better.
No.
And I mean, I think, the one thing that I did like about Monday Night Raw is they finally straight up split up Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Which is long overdue, in my opinion, but also a good way of getting Jason Jordan a little bit farther away from the spotlight, considering the fairly.
I don't know if it's going to get him from the spotlight, honestly, because it looks like they're going to book a Rollins Jordan match for Mania.
Well,
it
really sort of depends, and I mean,
depends on how his surgery.
Well, yeah, from what I heard, the reason why they were both yanked from Elimination Chamber was because they were supposed to. Their feud was supposed to start at Elimination Chamber and culminate at Mania, but they weren't sure if Jordan was going to be healed up in time.
Yeah. Oh, he's healed up, all right.
Hey.
It's very curious since Cesaro and Sheamus. I mean, Sheamus is in bad shape too.
Gosh, yes.
I would say he's probably in worse shape than Jordan.
And Cesaro is wearing braces. It's so cute.
Stop. Go. You're opening the card. Yeah, Cesaro in his braces because of his teeth.
It's adorable. I'm just like,
Yeah. He's got that
you look like you're
little bit of a lisp now.
15.
But Sheamus is in bad shape. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like his last hurrah.
They need to get those straps off them.
Yeah, they do.
I understand for a certain aspect why they took them off of Rollins and Jordan, but they shouldn't have put them on the bar.
I think this is Sheamus's last WrestleMania. I think he's trying to make it to WrestleMania, and then he'll probably
because he's
at least take time off. If not retire.
I mean, he definitely needs to
maybe
take time
like a
off.
Shawn Michaels thing where he's gone for a couple years and heals up.
Because I mean,
it's
he's
serious.
he's got some pretty serious stuff going on.
And he was actually taking more bumps on Raw than I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
Which is kind of scary in a way, because I mean it's a bad situation for Sheamus.
but it's difficult because they haven't done a whole lot of building up the tag division on Raw, even though this has been an issue that's been going on for a long time. So they've had lots of time to try and figure something out, and it doesn't seem like they've taken the necessary steps
McMahon
to do
doesn't
anything.
like tag teams. His thing is
Well, yeah,
why-
but look at
why
the tag
pay
division
two?
on SmackDown, which
Why pay
is
for two when you
flourishing.
can do it in one? Yeah, SmackDown's tag division is overflowing almost.
Yeah,
they can't
it is.
get them all on TV.
I mean, who are the tag teams on SmackDown? We got the Usos.
The Usos,
because I've
New
been down
Day.
since day one ish. New Day. We have the Ascension. We have
Bludgeon
Breezango, Bludgeon Brothers. We have the Colons.
Yep, which we haven't seen forever.
Yeah.
At all. So that's 6.
Rusev Day sometimes
Rusev
works as a tag.
7. Yeah, essentially as a tag. I feel
Are we
like we're
forgetting
forgetting
anyone?
somebody.
He's gonna access from his memory.
Well, we did have Mojo and Ryder, but they split.
They recently
that was
split,
like
and
8.
Mojo has terrible entrance music now. Just saying.
Did you count whatchamacallem? Shelton and Gator?
No, I did not.
So
American
there's 8.
Beta.
Yeah. So just 8 now, I think.
But I mean, that's way
But
more
that's a
than
lot more than Raw, who
in
has
Raw,
the Bar.
which is the Bar. Rollins and Reigns, sort of.
You can count Shield. I don't know if I count Shield. You have the Bar. You
You have
have
the Miz Taraj.
the Revival. You have the Good Brothers. How do you even count the Miztourage? Because they never
They
have
rarely
been
tag with each other. Yeah.
in any matches except with Miz's opponents.
It's true.
Yeah, that's it for SmackDown,
And-
I believe.
Hardys are currently inactive because Jeff's still out.
Oh gosh, the Hardys. I mean, I can see Bray
On
costing
Titus Worldwide.
Matt. Oh yeah, that's right, Titus. I can see
Worldwide.
I can see Bray costing Matt getting into the Elimination Chamber, but having Reigns get in the chamber by eliminating Bray is bullshit.
I don't think, when he
On Raw, that was because I mean, for one, Bray not only won Elimination Chamber last year, but he went on to win the title, or he won the title from Elimination Chamber last year and went on to WrestleMania,
Which was really
And then
cool,
this year, it was
actually.
super cool. And then this year, he's eliminated by Roman Reigns, and can't even be in it.
Well,
which
he's in the second chance, right?
Is he?
Yeah, he's
They're gonna
in
have
the
a second chance?
Fatal 4-way.
Hopefully,
losers.
he gets
So
in
him,
it.
Apollo Crews,
Is that
Finn,
next Raw?
and him, Apollo
Balor
Crews,
will get
Finn,
it.
and
Will that be the
Hardy.
last spot? Yeah,
because it's 6, right? So it's
it is 6. Yeah, we got Braun,
So we got Braun,
Reigns,
Reigns, Elias, Cena, Miz.
Miz is it? That's right, Miz won. Yeah, and that's actually a tough match to call, the loser's spot, because obviously they don't like Bray. Someone showed me the other day. They were like, seriously, how do you say that you're going to use this guy as like your builder to get the next person over when his win-loss record is all losses?
is abysmal. Yeah.
And it's like you actually have to give that spot. Like, you look at Jericho, he actually won a lot, even though he put over the next guy to fight the champion. He won all the other matches, so it kept him strong. And Hall was the same way back in the day. But Bray loses everything. So it's like, how do you...
Yeah, we had this talk about how to build good gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Which the WWE as of late is not very
It's
good
horrible.
at.
I don't even... There's not even a gatekeeper on SmackDown, really.
I'm trying to think.
I would almost say Orton, but...
Orton, kind of.
You know,
He's the
AJ
closest
has been,
I think
kind
we
of.
have right now.
SmackDown is actually kind of horrible with their singles
division.
Which is... Can you go?
Which is
There's no
funny
room. Go.
because their tag division is so strong.
Yeah. And,
Like-
they don't get used.
Yeah.
So it's...
And I mean, when you look at their tag division, like the Usos, New Day, Rusev Day now.
Rusev Day.
Even
Lots of
Benjamin
days.
and Benjamin and Gable, who I have never really been a big fan of Chad Gable.
They've
But I
been
mean,
used quite a
they
bit.
do really strong
Yeah.
in ring and promo work. So it's a shame that they're still seen as second tier. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the interesting thing with Raw was the triple threat last man
Yes.
in the Elimination Chamber.
So that was
which
John Cena, Elias, and
Yeah.
Braun. I totally
channeled
thought it was
Braun.
going to be Braun.
I didn't think it was going to be Braun.
I really did. I was like,
It was just interesting.
I did like
because
John Cena's promo that he cut on it. It was
They've
nice.
never done that before.
Yeah, it was
it's always
weird.
been random. And Royal Rumble didn't have any build to it, which they usually do something like that for the first spot, the last spot, number whatever spot, you know. There's usually some sort of build for the Rumble for those big spots that you're like, oh crap, you know, Cena's gonna come in at number 30. We know that already, or whatever.
Who came
Shawn
in at
Michaels
30
is gonna
this
be
year?
number 1. It was
Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler, yes. Who we were excited for. Me and Allison was excited for.
I mean, I like Dolph Ziggler.
And I was
I just don't think he should have been 30.
He should have been. Not if the way they've had his storyline going, his big story arc, where he's better than what everybody expects, and then he gets the U.S. title, and he just gives it up because he's better than the U.S. title. With that story arc, the only reason to have him come in at number 30 is to win. And the crowd was like, you know, they...
And then he
popped for
didn't.
him, and then they just threw him right out.
I didn't... Yeah, I was just
and it
like...
was...
It's
it
a
was-
waste.
Yeah. It was such a waste.
I honestly thought if he was going to show up, I thought he was going to show up to...
Oh, they should have had him come in at number 1 and last all the way through.
Yeah, or even to challenge Rude
Yeah.
for the U.S. Open
I
challenge.
figured that would have been Jinder. They would have had Jinder challenge and win it, but
Well, no, they had the Open challenge, so there's going to be someone random.
Mojo.
And it was
random.
and it was apparently their whole thing was that it was going to be Adam Cole,
Right.
But they didn't want his first
Right.
appearance on the main roster to be a loss and a
Yeah.
squash loss.
I wouldn't have done any of that.
It should have
I'm
been
gonna
because Adam Cole's
I'm
a
gonna
scrub.
do like a fantasy booking. I'm working on it, like before the next pay per view. I think it might be long because like I'm planning it all out, and it seems like it's gonna be really long.
Yeah, well, I mean, with us talking about wrestling, it's always
Yeah.
long.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The Rumble was okay. I mean, Reigns didn't win, so I'm kind of like Bray. Anybody but you, Roman.
Anyone.
Anyone but you. Which he actually said this week, which is pretty funny.
It was
Had
good.
him up in the corner, yeah. Yeah.
It's good that he keeps that though. I mean, like he's
yeah.
very smart about his characters.
So, if it gets down to, he says Apollo, Balor, Bray, and Matt Hardy.
Yes. I
So if it's
believe
down to those 4, it's either going to be Balor or Bray, I would think.
I'm calling Balor.
But I don't know which one they hate more. Hate using it very loosely, but
Bray.
they don't.
They like Bray
They
less.
haven't been pushing Bray. They don't use Bray until they need him, really, and they don't give him airtime. Like
But
this
I don't
Hardy
think that
Bray
there's.
thing sucks.
This is gonna sound terrible, but I don't think they're gonna think there's money in a Bray, in a Bray Brock.
No, I mean they're not going to.
But I think that they will think there's money in a
smart thing-
David and Goliath situation of Balor versus Brock.
The smart thing. Well, there's 2 things. Like the smart thing would be keeping Bray relevant. You know, having him just get to Elimination Chamber keeps him relevant. And you could have Matt Hardy come out some fashion. It's going to be a cheap pop at the end. And have him get Hardy eliminated somehow. I don't know, it'd be something weird
Yes.
and kooky. Yeah. Something crazy. Like he somehow appears inside of the glass thing and him and Bray. I don't know. You could do something.
Wouldn't that be incredible?
You could do a really cool spot like that.
Or just have Brother Nero come back and have that be have Matt actually just
Or-
like on a Titantron, you just hear the crack
Actually,
and the Woken, and then have him be like, oh well,
If you
I'm
really
not
wanna-
gonna be part of this, but
I would do it the other way if you really want to push it. I would have Matt win and have Bray take him out of the Elimination Chamber. You know, if the lights go out, Bray's in the ring. Everybody's like,
this would be a great way of bringing back Brother Nero.
It would. The lights go out again, and then there's Brother Nero. He's like, what?
Brother Nero, I know you
I would
come.
actually have Bray bring in Brother Nero
Ooh.
and have Nero as part of the family. I would slowly work it to put the Wyatt family back together. That's a preview of
You
my
know
opinion.
how I would put the Wyatt family back
Yeah, you'd put them
together?
all back together. I know you.
I'll like put everybody back
She wants
together.
Braun back in the family.
He was in the family, yeah. So, I
wants
mean,
it
he
back.
should be back with his family because he's
It would be a loose.
once a Wyatt, always a
Yeah,
Wyatt.
it would be a loose story for me.
He's gotten totally opposite of Wyatt. Did you see him in the in the mixed match
Yeah.
challenge?
Yes, we'll get to that though. Wait,
It was so great.
so it was interesting seeing Cena and Elias work to get Braun overpowered. But it was like a really weird, like, I don't know. I feel like the crowd was just
Well, Elias's spot was supposed to be for Samoa Joe. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was supposed to be Joe.
But I think I'm really high on Elias.
I know you are.
And he works the crowd really well.
He
'Cause
does.
The crowd responds to him
he knows-
exceptionally well.
He knows how to get that
And
that
then he
cheap
gets
heat,
under them
and then
really
and then
easily.
to and then to build upon the cheap heat.
So I think he's going to be a star. You know, I really do, because he comes out and now they're
Yeah.
they're
Star
eating
like
out of
like
his
the
hand.
like the honky tonk man.
You know, I mean, they're eating out of his hand. They're like, you know, what's WWE stand for? And they say, walk with Elias. I mean, the crowd is really into it. And then he'll make a comment about the city and they, ooh. So that's a good sign.
Reactions are always good, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good sign. So I mean, in that regard, I think he's gonna be a star eventually. This could go on to prove it. Having him win this match was a big thing for him. The ending, I feel like the whole show just wore the fans out though, because by the end of the show, it was hard to elicit a response from the crowd.
I mean, and
even
you
when
see that
Braun comes in and he was like just power slamming Cena, power slamming Elias, and he looks at the crowd and they're like, yay, and he's like, what? Yeah, you want me to do it again? And then finally you'd hear a, yeah, one more time, and he power slammed them both again. But it was like he was having to work
to pull teeth
really
for
work
it, yeah.
for it. Which usually Braun doesn't have to do. Like the crowds usually respond really well for Braun.
Yeah.
But they just
I mean,
seemed like they
he's
were
the monster among men. You
I hate
respond for him, or you die, or you get these hands.
I feel like they kind of wore him out with Roman, though. I mean, the Reigns Bray match, the crowd was cheering for Bray. They were booing Roman at every spot. They booed him when he come out. They at the beginning of the show, top of the show, they booed him when he come on the screen. They booed him when he had his entrance. They booed every time he hit Bray.
Where were they this week?
I don't know. And then there was a chant for, like, we want Bray, or, I don't know, there was some kind of chant for Bray there at one point where it looked like Bray was going to win. And then there was a, let's go Wyatt, Roman sucks chant. It's like they just wore them out, and then you have a couple matches, and then Reigns comes in to become Rollins' partner. You hear boos again. And every time Rollins would almost tag in, they would cheer because they wanted Roman, every time Roman would tag in, they cheer because they wanted Rollins in the ring instead of Reigns. And it was just,
And then they lost by DQ.
Yeah.
Jason Jordan, you fool.
But I felt like that
still love
spot
you,
was
though.
different
So babe.
than what they had been doing, because I felt more pity for Jordan in this instance than before. Like the Royal Rumble thing where he's like, "Ow, I'm hurt. I gotta tag myself out." That was like,
Yeah, that was heel
good.
heat.
That was really good. But this past one was not heel heat. He was like, "Oh, I'm here to help. I'm trying to keep them from running away.
Yeah.
From you guys getting a count out. Them getting a count out, and you guys not getting the titles." So I don't think that one worked well. I'm not sure who's over that. I think no.
But he's also used to being from the land of opportunity on SmackDown, where
Right.
half the time if someone tries to keep their belts cheap like that, Shane McMahon will be like,
That's true.
no countouts, no DQs, restart the match.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows what his kayfabe frame of mind was in that?
Unfortunately, that seems to be the thing that they're doing right now.
But yeah, but it didn't make
I would
him
like to
come
sit
off
back
as
in
a
my
heel.
chair, but I have this small child. Speaking of Braun Alexis. No, the mixed match challenge is really interesting.
What
At
about
first,
Brian and Nia?
yeah. At first, I was like, "This is odd," because they're mixing it, the face and the heels to some degree. But then when they get to the match, it's like someone is specifically heel and someone specifically face, so it works.
Yeah.
Like Alexis and Braun, their face. I mean, the little vignettes that they've been cutting were awesome. The great build to it.
Now I know this isn't a semi, but
God, the sweatshirt, I've worn it, so that automatically makes you 30% stronger. And then like after the match, I mean, it was just.
It was like, yeah, and
The crowd chanting,
No,
"Get these hands!"
The other part was, we get along well together professionally, and may I say personally, she is kind of cute.
I am so very surprised the way the crowd responded to it, that they're not doing it on the main shows.
God,
I mean, just to get that.
But I mean, it's been so hit or miss.
Momentum.
Because it worked for Braun and Alexa.
Yeah.
But then there are other people that it didn't quite do as much for, like Nakamura and Natalya.
I did see that match. They fought Balor and Sasha, which was interesting. Yeah.
Boss Demon.
Yeah. I was really surprised that they had Balor and Shinsuke in that against each other instead of saving that.
I know, that's what I thought too. So
something special.
I was wondering if a lot of when going into the match before I saw it, I was wondering if maybe a lot more of the legwork was going to be done by the two women, so that we don't get too much of Balor and Nakamura before something big. And I mean, I guess the person who won the match for them was Sasha, so they still save a little bit of that. Yeah. But I mean, and I did like the interactions between Sasha and Nakamura, because Sasha Banks is a giant Japanese wrestling nerd. So she must have so much
into that
been
match
so happy
between Balor and Nakamura in there. Just like he throws up the too sweet sign and stuff like that. There's so much background. For them not to save that, and then they're pushing this AJ Nakamura dream match, and then to kind of say like, "Oh, Balor versus Nakamura is not a dream match." It's, to me, I think that's a bigger dream match than AJ Nakamura, honestly.
Well, yeah, because I mean, they were both at different points in their careers in New Japan, so they didn't quite meet up at that level when they were both working in the company. Mm-hmm. And of course, Balor, the founder, one of the main founders of Bullet Club, and Nakamura, the founder of Chaos, two of the biggest stables and actually most storied stables in New Japan history. So it's very interesting that there's still a whole lot of that left unexplored.
God, it would be great if they would do a Chaos stable in WWE.
Who would
I don't know what they
join?
would call it, but
like who would join besides?
Well, everybody in 205, like Hideo, Tozawa. Asuka.
Oh, it's another thing that I wanted.
I mean, you could build a small
that I wanted to
up pretty easily.
That I wanted to talk about. So, 205, it was Hideo Itami versus Roderick Strong.
Oh, this past week?
Yeah.
Oh, next week is supposed to be them tagging, right? Against somebody.
Well, I mean, so Hideo Itami versus Roderick Strong. This is part of the Cruiserweight division, the 205 Live division. Tournament to crown a new champion.
Who won?
Guess.
I have no idea between the two.
Just guess.
I would say Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Strong's not even in the Cruiserweight division.
He's under 205, I assume.
Well, yeah. So I mean, he qualifies for it, but it's.
Well, we've kind of like talked about Strong would get lost in the mix, being pulled up to the main roster, but I could totally see him being a star in the Cruiserweight division. of the
And
205 division.
you know, he's great. I do like Roddy Strong. I've always been a fan, but I was really disappointed
It's-
because I thought this was going to be a good way. And I mean, first round
It'd be great,
Kenta gets
yeah.
out. You know,
They
it's,
don't know what to do with Kenta. They really don't.
and
and
it's a shame
from-
because he's
And
so.
he was the first major international hire
Yeah.
they had. Major hire they had, period, in NXT, in my opinion. And he got lost in the shuffle because then they hired like
Not only that, but
Balor,
he just had
Nakamura,
just
everybody
such
really
unfortunate
quick.
timing for
he got
injuries.
injured.
And then right when he was coming back, he would get injured again. So
Yeah.
it really sort of
And I feel like whoever was handling him with
Just
205
didn't-
and on Raw
just
really
had no idea.
really didn't do him any favors.
No.
I've heard Road Dogg has been responsible for a lot of these bombs.
Well, he's garbage also, so
so I
he's
don't know.
Road Dogg's also responsible, mind you, for on Raw 25 when they had the big moment of the Balor Club and
Yeah.
D-Generation X coming together and doing the big all
Oh.
together suck it. He's the one that like jumped right in front of Finn Balor, who is supposed to be centered in the shot. Like it's very obvious that the shot, as they maybe had practiced it, was supposed to be centered around him.
Right.
And at the last second, he's the one that jumps in front and takes it. They're just like, what kind of glory hog
Yeah.
are you? This is awful. It's disgraceful.
Billy Gunn was always my favorite out of the whole.
Irish with me.
Yeah, I mean, not much you can say about that, really.
But it's a real shame because I've always really been a fan of Hideo Itami. I actually have a Hideo Itami shirt.
Well, Kenta was.
Look.
Kenta was like a huge, I guess you'd say, indie or hardcore wrestling fans guy.
Yeah, I mean, and
Everybody knows Kenta from his stuff in Noah.
in Noah, in
and
Ring of
ROH.
Honor.
Yeah. And, for him to get into WWE was a huge thing that people were like, wow.
I mean, it
can't
really
believe
opened
it.
a lot of doors, and I
'Cause a
think
lot
it
of
made
people never
people.
thought it would happen.
And I think it made people a lot more willing to believe that, yeah, even my favorite dudes on the indie circuit can make it. So I think it gave a lot of people hope.
Yeah. And I mean, he's beefed up quite a bit, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see, this is the gnarly scar on
Yeah.
his shoulder. Is
But I mean, he's
huge.
way bigger than he was when he was in Noah.
And
So-
he's way bigger now than he was when he first started his run.
To just have him
In
in
WWE.
205 feels like a real kind of loss. Austin Aries recently made a comment. Of course, that's the Impact World Heavyweight Champion,
A
Austin
double.
Aries.
You're
Just
gonna
to
love
show-
his package.
Just to show how versatile this guy is. I mean, he could have been WWE champion.
Yeah.
And carried it because that's just who he is. But he made a comment recently that 205 is kind of a joke. Like, he's already gone on record said that the WWE wanted to use him in 205, he was fine with it wherever he would have been a player. But 205 is a joke because you have some guys that are under 205 that obviously aren't on 205, and then there are other guys who are they're like, no, you're 205, you can't come to the main roster. And that is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, look at specifically
Balor
Balor.
is like 190 pounds.
Yeah.
There's
I mean, Ricochet,
gonna be
who's
a
going to
couple
be in
others.
NXT.
he will probably
is-
get the Mysterio spot on the main roster. Which
I'm not sure how I feel about.
Yeah.
Right at
He
this
should-
moment.
it's my opinion that 205 is like Aries is saying that if you're under 205, if you're gonna have a division based on limitations, then everybody that's 205 and under should be in that division.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Balor can't be on Raw also, but Balor,
But-
Kalisto, I think Sin Cara is like 206.
Just barely.
I don't know. It seemed like he was under the weight limit until they actually had the 205 division. Then they're like, he's 210.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think Aleister Black as well.
Aleister
his-
Black, I don't think even hits 200 pounds.
Yeah, they've recently labeled him at like 213 or 215 or something
Which is
to
a
avoid
lie.
that. Yeah, and he's
But
there's
I
no
mean,
way.
It's also a double-edged sword because if you're gonna restrict from having a lot of these really
Yeah.
interesting and experienced performers on that brand, how do you expect it to do?
I think they made that brand because most of the indie guys are small that are making a name for themselves, and they want
like
to
the
pick them
power
up.
of Tozawa. I love.
They
Tozawa.
want to pick those guys up, and it's. I wouldn't say to kill the indies or kill other competition, but they think that they can make money off of it, and so they want to
They're
get those
right.
guys.
I mean, hey, make me Tozawa merch, I will buy it because
Ricochet.
they yanked all the Tozawa merch off of the Dragon Gate website and off of Pro Wrestling.
I don't think they're going to call him Ricochet because every time they throw something up about him, they use his name. They Ricochet.
Well,
and eventually that'll get phased out, and it'll just be whatever name he's.
Okay, so they recently. I don't know how much you check Cage Side Seats, but I check it almost literally every day.
I need to write it down.
So over on Cage Side Seats, there was someone posted a fan shot or a picture that I guess Triple H had shared, and Triple H had shared it with the caption of "I'm just gonna leave this here." And it was Ricochet having his first match billed as Ricochet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in NXT. I mean, it was a dark match, so it's non-televised, but...
I feel like, because we've seen a lot of times, like, they brought in Kenta, he comes out, he'll be Hideo Itami from now on.
Prince Devitt.
They bring out Kana, she'll be Asuka from now on.
Prince Devitt became Finn Balor. But then look at all these other people who recently came up. Adam Cole kept his name. Kyle O'Reilly kept his name. Bobby Fish kept his name.
They're names though. They're like names, kind of. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what they'll do exactly with that. I think it just depends on also how they want to market them, trademark.
Well, I mean, the thing is Ricochet, the name Ricochet, I think as far as indie cred, will get a lot farther than any name they pick.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, because how many people remember that his real name is Trevor Mann? The only reason why I remember now is because that's what they bill him as all the time.
Right. It depends
and all the press
because they bring somebody in. One, they want to have something that they can trademark, that they can make merchandise sales off of and everything. Yeah. So that's why we have all these different characters or wrestlers come in from the indies who don't use the name that they're known for. Like Cassius Ohno. He comes in and he signs a contract with Chris Hero and he doesn't have all these things within that contract.
But I mean, that's
when
why
he gets
can
kicked back out for being fat, he can't be Chris Hero no more.
But I mean,
he can't go back to being wife beater.
It's nice.
Because that
was not good.
Yeah. But a lot of wrestlers do it. CM Punk had a fight for his name. Raven, even way back when, Raven had a fight for his name.
For a lot of them too, it's lucky because then it allows them to still
sit like this,
maintain their independent merchandising. So Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, I don't think he has any merch currently for WWE, but he still is allowed to sell a lot what his Chris Hero stuff.
How do they not have merchandise for Cassius Ohno when he wears merchandise to the ring? You know what I'm saying? He wears his Cassius Ohno jerseys.
I would wear those jerseys. I would buy jerseys. They would be the only jerseys I would ever wear.
You can make a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie,
but I mean,
and actual jersey.
So they let him wear his own merchandise though. Like, but I mean, I don't mean like Cassius Ohno merchandise. They let him wear Chris Hero stuff.
Yeah, it just doesn't say like Chris Hero usually.
Or they avoid shooting the parts that say Chris Hero because they had
so I mean it's
all
crazy.
Of his I feel like elbow shirts. Yeah.
So I mean it's like they could totally make money off that. I mean, he has a huge following, so it's like
And then
I'm expecting him to get called up after WrestleMania.
But the other interesting person that recently started becoming a little bit more, or coming into his own a little bit more in NXT, Johnny Gargano, got to keep his name and also still has both WWE merchandise as well as his own independent merchandising.
Let me just say this:
both with the name Johnny Gargano, or no, I think his. I'm wrong. I think his WWE shirt only says Johnny Wrestling.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, but Anthem recently made a statement and then they're signing all these wrestlers to come in and whatnot, and they're changing the game, so to speak. They're not like you can only wrestle for Impact. They want wrestlers to come work for them who still feel like they can go work other places and do this and that.
Well, I mean, because it's only going to bring more attention to the brand.
Well, they're going to get better wrestlers doing it that way. Really, I mean, there are cases where they'll sign a contract with exclusiveness, but I think in general, that way they could use like a Rey Mysterio who'll still work down in Mexico.
Yeah.
They can sign Austin Aries and Brian Cage when they still work all these other places as well. So that's going to kind of change the landscape a little bit, especially if they do that with merchandise as well too. Like, hey, we can sell ours and you still sell yours or whatever. It will only be better for the wrestlers, taking care of the wrestlers more so than somebody like WWE who you kind of sign everything away.
But see, it's also interesting because then there's other weird exceptions within the WWE. So if you're not in a developmental contract per se, specifically with NXT or 205 or Raw or SmackDown or anything like that, take the guys specifically on the United Kingdom division. A lot of them
they don't use that much.
Yeah, but a lot of them still get to keep their independent bookings and then are called upon to wrestle in the WWE when the WWE calls them. So they still get that
I feel like that's pretty much a Triple H
that notoriety. Thing. Yes, no, it's definitely a Triple H thing.
Which is smart. I mean, he can't really do it for all the wrestlers.
Look at in the cruiserweight tournament that they've had so far. They've had Tyler Bate come in.
Yeah.
He unfortunately lost to TJ Perkins. And then they are having Mark Andrews come in and fight Tozawa?
I think so. It's smart though, because then he keeps his foot in those markets.
And then of course the United Kingdom champion Pete Dunne.
It promotes WWE, it promotes that wrestler, and it keeps them like, Tyler Bates wrestling locally, and he's a big WWE star, and you can see him on TV, but you can also see him there, and it kind of keeps a bigger connection. It's like the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon or something.
6 degrees of separation of Kevin Bacon.
I mean, when you can actually, do those sorts of things, but like, can you do that with John Cena? No. It'd be cool. Show everybody what you're doing, so that I'm not alone. And
wait, hold on. I'm trying to.
Lift it.
I don't want to.
Do it. I feel like I'm sitting here with Bailey. Get these hands.
Bailey and Elias aren't gonna go far in the mixed match challenge. Also, I'm just gonna.
Bailey,
Rusev, Lana, and Rusev are gonna win.
They should. That would be awesome.
So sad. Sorry.
Poor Lana. She gets so much shit, but Rusev's loved.
Poor Bailey. She just gets nothing anymore. Anyway.
For a second, I thought we were going to get a Bailey heel turn on Raw. But it's not. It's going to be Sasha.
Oh, yeah. It just has to be Sasha.
It has to be. It's too written.
At Chamber.
It should be Bailey at Chamber. If they would start like doing the opposite of what people expect, have a little bit of twists and turns, and like the Sami Zayn heel turn that nobody expected. I didn't expect. I'd been dreaming about it for years, but it still hit me out of nowhere like an RKO. There's so many things like you should listen to the crowd for, but then it's like the ones that are you should obviously do a twist in it. They're like, no, we gotta follow this.
Gotta play it, yeah.
So I don't know. WWE Creative's hiring,
Yeah.
I thought about applying.
I was like, did you put in your application?
I think I will.
You should put it in today. Good luck. It's your birthday.
I think I will, but then I hear all these horrible things like people who don't work for them anymore.
Cough, cough, Jimmy Jacobs, cough.
Yeah. So.
But they just got Jeremy Barash.
They did, but he's going to be doing. I'm sure he'll be on air too, but he's not going to be writing.
Well, I mean, like, what on air role is he going to have?
I don't know. I thought they might bring him in for 205 instead. They gave that to
Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say his other name. What's his other name?
Drake Maverick.
Maverick. Horrible name.
And they call him Rockstar Spud. They're like, this man who used to be known as Rockstar Spud.
How's he talks? I can't do it. He talks all crooked.
Yeah, Spud.
Like he had a stroke.
I mean, Spud's always been weird to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's,
I thought they were gonna bring him in for the 205 division.
So you know what my theory is. You know what my theory is. My theory is it's gonna get to WrestleMania. It's gonna be 2 people, and then right before the match goes on,
he's gonna interject himself.
Yes.
Think so?
Because it's like as the general manager, I reserve the right to change matches as I see necessary.
So he should do that. He should say like, "I'm gonna bring in this rock star," and then he goes behind the curtain. And they hit the music, and it's him, but he comes out with a mask on. And like everybody knows it's blatantly him. That would be great.
Oh yeah, like all the Twitter people is like, man, I don't know who this Drake Maverick guy is, but he seems like a real rock star, and I'm just like,
So yeah, I don't know. SmackDown.
The tag division's great.
The tag division is great. If they just book the show around the tag division, that'd be awesome.
But
I don't understand why you have your world and this goes for Raw too. I don't understand why you have your world division and your second title division intercross all the time, because it shouldn't. The one should be used specifically for.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because there's an interesting thing that happened in this past Monday, on Raw, that I thought you
Apollo
probably were a big
Miz?
fan of. Yeah.
It was a great match.
And also Miz's whole promo about it, where he's going to be the first person to hold concurrently the IC strap and the Universal strap.
Title. He should be. It would be great. I would love that.
I know you would.
Swerve. But they should also turn Miz face in that swerve, and you have a heel Brock with Paul, and you have a face Miz. The promos between a heel Heyman and a face Miz would be incredible.
Have his newborn daughter at Mania.
Yeah, I mean, everything is right there. Like, it would be so incredible for them to do that.
Crazy
and
theory.
The build for that would happen like that.
Crazy theory. What if Maurice's due date is actually like a couple weeks before WrestleMania, since she goes into labor early, and then at Mania, his daughter is already there.
Oh, it's possible. I would say, like, if I could totally see them doing it, and then McMahon being like, "I got this idea we're going to do today," right at the last minute, he'd be like, "In the middle of the match, you're going to get a phone call." And you have to choose to leave the match and go watch your daughter being born, or win the match. I can see Vince doing that.
Can you imagine, like,
Paul Heyman pulls out the phone?
The giant face turn that would come with that, though, if he wasn't already face.
If Miz turned face with the proper thing, and Heyman Lesnar would be the perfect to turn heel against that, because Heyman cuts amazing promos.
Well, yeah, because he's
and Brock's
he's
a monster.
Paulie dangerously, yo.
So that'd be the perfect group to do it against, and it would still be a David versus Goliath sort of event, because Lesnar versus Miz. Of course, everybody's going to think
Lesnar's going to eat him,
kill him. Yeah. So, I mean, it writes itself. You don't have to do anything. Plus, Miz has his show coming up that's getting ready to debut.
Miz and Mrs., right?
Yeah, and I mean, it's how can you couldn't plan that better, and they're gonna let it waste. They're just gonna.
I think that
Miz is too big for the Intercontinental title. He really is. He's totally
at this
outgrown
point. Yes, but there's nobody. The thing is, and the reason why I think they keep putting it back on him is because people that stop caring when it's not the Miz.
I would disagree. They stop caring because when it's not a name that's already established, they don't put the title on TV. and that's the biggest problem. They
Well, I mean,
don't-
even with
like,
Roman Reigns, people, I don't think were as engaged with him as a champion.
it's Roman Reigns. They're not engaged with him at all anyway. But like Ambrose, you had a name already.
Well, I mean,
And so Ambrose was on TV
so
every
look
week.
at it from this,
Even though they
from
tried
this
to kill it because
perspective.
they don't like Ambrose.
My cousin, or I have my little cousin, and then I
Nakamura?
have no,
Going
but
to WrestleMania. I mean,
yeah, he is. But one of my other cousins, she hates the Miz, and so does my mother. But both of them think that he is still the best Intercontinental Champion in the last couple years.
Well, I would say he probably is.
No, and I agree with that. But I mean, the fact that they can recognize that even with their dislike of him, and their
But again, I would say that's,
I guess lack
that's because
of knowledge of past champions prior to this last couple years is telling.
I would say that's because one, he's already recognized. If I don't know if
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know if Apollo Crews would be the one I would put it on because he's not built up for it. Apollo Crews only gets like wins over small names.
Well,
So
I've also
they haven't
heard
pushed him. But if you put it on Elias, who's out there every week, who gets a chance to talk and all this stuff, who's been in the ring with the big names and has held his own, so to speak, you put that belt on Elias, and it will establish him as a star and get the belt over still yet. Or Joe.
Well, I think the other person that is rumored to be in talks with being the next in line to hold the belt is Finn Balor.
They could do it, but I feel like since he's already been Universal Champion, it's a huge step back. I would put it on somebody who I'm planning to get over later. So like Elias. You could go Joe, just as establish Joe as this dominant badass and keep him out of the main roster.
Out of the title picture.
The
big title picture.
You don't want to keep him there and just continually losing. So having him as an
But then
Intercontinental
at the
Champion
same
for
time,
a year.
I don't think that they have any
And you're going to
plans
love
of
this one.
elevating.
Jason Jordan.
What the hell?
I don't like I was saying. I don't think they have any plans of elevating Balor back to the same heights.
It depends, I think there's arguably you have someone like Triple H probably who sees the potential for money because people love the Bullet Club.
It's true.
And the chances are of them hiring more Bullet Club members is pretty high because there's a lot of them right now.
It's true. I know one person who probably won't go back. Cody.
I don't know. They say never, right? Cody is establishing himself as a major indie name. Not just indie name, but I mean like New Japan, ROH. I wouldn't call New Japan indies really. But it is not out of the realm that Cody will be huge.
Oh yeah.
In like 2 years, bigger than he is now.
Well, I mean, what's going on against NXT TakeOver, right? For WrestleMania weekend, the show that Ring of Honor is putting on.
No.
Supercard of Honor. You know what the main event is? Cody Rhodes versus Kenny Omega.
Oh, I'm surprised that New Japan is letting them do that. And wow, that is pretty huge. Especially after I don't know if everybody's seen it. Kenny Omega getting kicked out of the Bullet Club.
I mean, is it? So it's unofficial as of right now. This isn't something that they've confirmed that he's out of the Bullet Club, but there's been a lot of implications that he may be reuniting with his former tag team partner Kota Ibushi back when they were the Golden Lovers in New Japan. And this is perfect for me because I love both Kenny and Kota. Kota is actually my favorite.
Yeah.
But Kenny is right in second place.
It would be interesting, if we see Jericho come back to do. I know he's gonna have his match with Naito.
See, this is what I want.
But is Jericho going to join the Bullet Club?
Cruise of Honor, or not Cruise of Honor, but Cruise of Jericho Kenny and Kota.
That would be pretty cool.
Please.
But I mean, having Jericho as what was the mafia term? Consigliere or something like that.
I don't know what that means.
So like, have you ever seen The Godfather?
Like when
They
I was
always
little,
had like
so I didn't understand
this
it.
advisor to the Godfather, and he would be like, you know, a lawyer type or
Uh-huh.
something like that. But he would be like an advisor, an older guy, consigliere or something like that. You had Jericho as that position to Cody as leader of the Bullet Club.
Can you imagine?
Dude, that would be huge. That would be so over. To do
Also,
something like
Jericho on Raw 25 wearing his Alpha Club shirt.
that. Oh, it was great seeing him his little spot with
Elias.
Elias. That was good.
It was very good.
Jericho's the man right now, really. I mean,
You know, I hate to admit it because I was never really sold on the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, but the past couple years, I mean, 2016, 17, 18,
Yeah.
he's done some of the most amazing work I've seen in not only in his career but just
for
in general.
a semi-retired wrestler to keep himself so relevant in the product overall has never been seen like that before.
And that's a good point. The product overall, so it's not just within WWE
to not
realm.
like jumping to another promotion specifically, like he's just
And I
here
think
and there, and like he's in New Japan, he's in WWE.
And I think in March
Technically, you
he's
could say
slated
he's in
also
ROH,
to
since
of
they're
the-
going to be on the cruise.
yeah. But I mean, and he is slated to have a pretty big match at the Strong Style Evolved show, the second New Japan show that's coming over to the United States in
Is that going to be against Naito or
Yes.
today? New Japan has a show, also,
Yes.
which
They have their
sounds like it's going to be a really good show.
their New Beginning series that's going on still.
Chaos versus Lij, which I'm hoping Sonata gets a good rub.
They had also
From his match with
Fantastica
Okada?
Mania, which is their split show with CMLL a couple weeks ago.
Do you think I can't think of his name, Takahashi is going to take the title tonight?
Oh, against Ospreay?
Yeah,
I hope so.
I hope so, too.
I love Hiromu Takahashi.
like he should have taken
I
it.
love him.
He should have taken it at Wrestle Kingdom. but-
The crowd was so hot for him. They would have blown the roof off the place if he won.
I
Like,
don't
this
think
is what I think I said
I don't
in our
think Evil's going
review.
to take the belt off Goto.
No,
but
Evil shouldn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Evil should not, and I don't think that Sonata should take the belt off Okada either. But I think
Yeah.
this would be a really good opportunity to help establish both these guys. I mean, they recently, or not recently, but at Wrestle Kingdom 12, they beat Killer Elite Squad for
Mm-hmm.
the titles. And what was actually, I really liked the match. It was sort of a slow burn start because Killer Elite Squad
Yeah.
came in and was like
I was actually surprised by that one.
dominating right in the beginning.
I thought Killer Elite Squad would keep the belts.
I did too.
So, I mean,
And I was pleasantly surprised because I
see
really
all
like
this talent
LIJ.
that New Japan has building up. Some of them are getting older, some of them are young, but you know, Regal has to be in there going like, okay, Regal has his own list,
I'm
and he
certain
has to be.
at some point, Roppongi 3K, Shonyo,
Yeah,
are gonna get the call. Do you know what I mean?
I feel.
Whether as
I
individuals
feel like
or as
Naito
tag
will get a
team.
call as well.
Naito probably. I don't think Naito would go.
I don't think he would, but I think he might get a call. And it's it's a toss up for some of these guys because you're hot. You kind of want to stay and make your
But it would.
name known.
Can you imagine?
in
It
your
would be really
company.
cool if Naito did actually go over and then reunite with Andrade Cien Almas as the founder of Los Ingobernables and founder of LIJ.
That would be awesome, especially in NXT. Although he'll probably be caught up or let go before then. How heavy is Almost?
Almost is 220, 230 at least.
Okay,
He's a little beefy. I know he moves
Yeah.
fast and he's
small.
He looks small, but he's tick. Bruh. He is.
so he's safe. He's not going to go to 205.
I don't think he's gonna go to
That's the thing
205.
with NXT.
Unless
Like a lot of them are
unless he
smaller
cuts weight.
guys, so it's like I think that would be such an awesome storyline for some of these guys to cut weight and go to the NXT to 205 division and just like dominate. Aiden English.
Well, I mean, so
Who's like
an
211.
interesting thing that they sort of explored during the Cruiserweight Classic year before, 2016, Cedric Alexander had cut, I think, 20 pounds of weight or something right before to qualify. And the whole question throughout the tournament, and he got to the second round, is it going to affect him? Yeah. Is it going to affect how he moves in the ring, what he's used to working with as far as his weight versus not? And I mean, he delivered a killer match. Of course, he lost to Kota Ibushi in the second round because, of course, you're going to lose to Kota Ibushi. Right. I'm sorry. Nobody should be beating Kota Ibushi.
I believe Kota Ibushi is that light. I mean, I know he's a small guy.
200 exact.
Wow. He's a lot bigger now. He's ripped.
He is huge. He is swole. He's like, I love Kota.
Was he 6 foot?
He's the only time I've ever found like ripped attractive is Kota Ibushi. I love Kenny for the heel. I don't love his physique, but
or the curly hair. Like,
I like the curly hair. It's fine. I love Kenny and Kota, but I would have to fight.
I would
have to fight both of them for each other. It would be weird.
That would be kind of weird.
And I'd be sad either way.
You live in like this world of just pain.
It's my life. The life of being a pro wrestling fan of WWE.
Yeah, that is true.
Anyway, this video is an hour, so I think we should
stop that one already.